This is a lesson for 10.3 for secondary math 1. It is relative frequency conditional distribution. The vocab, which is the only part of our notes that we're going to do, is we're going to split things up. So the relative frequency is like what we just did on the warm-up, where you have the two, like you have a table like this, and a relative frequency means that we would have to divide. We make the two-way table and then we divide by the total. And then when it says conditional, that means we're going to do a specific total, not the grand total, the specific total, and then you need to change that to a percent. So this is basically what we're doing today, is changing things to a percent. So I want you to take a moment and just look at these two tables that are on this page. So this is 10.3 again. And I want you to just look and make some observations and how did they get from this table to that table? Okay, Tyler, go.
I think that on the algebra line they added everything up.
So they added everything up, and let's just double check. What is 6 plus 4 plus 8 plus 1 plus 1?
20.
It is indeed 20. What's the next row add up to? 30. The next one? 30. So, okay, so that was one observation. Now, what did they have to do with those? What was the next thing that they did with those?
They
Aiden.
used those totals to divide by what the number was.
So this whole row, they divided by 20. And then this next row divided by 30, the next row divided by 30, and then the last thing that they did. After they did all the dividing, what was the last thing that they did?
Put it in percent.
Yep, put it in percent. And that's all we're doing for these. So these are the steps that I would write down. Is step 1, you are going to add toward the total. And let me show you what I mean by that. So let's look at the difference between 4 and 5. Where is the total on number 4?
It is right there.
On the bottom, so you're going to add down, right? So you're adding toward the total. Where's the total on number 5? On the right, so you're going to add to the right. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So step 1 is add toward the total. Step 2, divide by the total. And then maybe you can just even put this in the same step. Just change that to a percent. And because we're going to, in honors, we're going to round to the 10th place. The 10th place. So those are the two steps for this whole thing. So let's do should we do number 4 or 5? What would you rather do?
5.
Yes, do whatever person just said.
So add toward the total, divide by the total, change it to a percent, and then round to the nearest 10th place. So I guess you could technically say that there are 4 steps, but the last step is basically the same thing. I also want to show you that you can do it faster and easier with your graphing calculator, so I'll show you how to do that as well. And then it'll be wonderful.
Isn't it good to put it on and then go smoothly do the group and then
Are we only doing
Yes,
one? Right?
Yeah, bippity boppity boo specifically is what you have to say. Okay,
Are we only doing one lesson?
we are only doing one lesson. Question on this first.
So when we round, do we round before or after?
After you divide. Okay, so let me show you. So would you rather do 4 or 5? It doesn't matter to me. Would you 4? Okay, let's do 4 then. This will be more interesting than what I did today. The first thing is I look at see where the totals are. The total's at the bottom, so I'm just going to add straight down. 8 plus 11 is 19. That's 13. This is 26, and that's also 13. Does this make sense so far?
yes.
Now, part of the answer is to have the actual fraction. So this is going to be 8 over 19, 11 over 19, and then this bottom one is 19 over 19.
So how?
And then what percent of 19 is 19?
1.
Percent?
100%.
100%. Okay, and then this, so with the small ones like this, you can go like this. And you can do 11 divided by 19, and because it's a percent, you can times by 100. So we would get 57.9. So you can get and round to 57.9. Or If you're going across, what I like to do is I like to put the equation into my calculator. So like for this one, if this is what I was going to do, which would kind of be silly for this
Does
one,
it matter if?
but I could do whatever number I'm gonna divide, like the number that's being divided, then divide it by the total, and then times by 100. And then you can go into your table, and all of the answers are there. So if you had a lot of them, it's really nice. So this is 42.1. So this is about equal to 42.1%. And I forgot to put the percent sign on. Okay, so that's all you do for these. Add, and then divide, and change that to a percent.
So you can add across or down?
It depends on where the total is. See, the total on this one was down, but on number 5, see how the total, on number 5, the total's over here, so you're gonna have to add across. Does that make sense? We want to add toward the total. Since the total's over here, we add that way.
When
Since the
do you-
total's down here, you add that
When
way.
you round it to 10?
When do you round it to the 10th place?
Uh-huh.
When you divide. So like this one, I would do 5 divided by 13. And so in my calculator, you can do 5 divided by 13. And since I want to find a percent, I can times it by 100. And I get, it would be 38 point, do you see how that's 38.5? Okay, so that would be 38.5%. So that's when you round. Does that make sense? Okay. And then the next one would be 8 over 13. So 8 divided by 13 times by 100 and 61.5%. And then this would be 13 over 13, which for sure equals 100. Okay, do you guys know why I'm doing the squiggle equal sign instead of the normal? Because I had to round it, right? If you round it, you do need to do the about thing. But I didn't on the 100% because that's exactly what it is. Then 14 out of 26 and 12 out of 26, 26 out of 26, good. And 13 out of 26.
Wouldn't that be 13 out of 13?
Oh yeah, 13. Psych. Thank you. Nice work. Sure. Bring your book up here.
What? This is madness.
What?
Actually, no, it's pretty alright.
No, it's fine.
No, I don't think
Okay.
I'm just really
I said, isn't it 13 out of 13 because you're at 13 out of 26?
Oh wait, just kidding. That was wrong.
It was a joke. She said yes, and I need it. So yes.
Ooh,
I correct Mr.
when your
Jones all
nose
the time.
itches.
He has so many typos. I'm like,
He does. It's
Are
bad.
long and hideous. Would you guys agree? They just take a long time to do.
yeah.
And I don't want to waste your time. I don't feel like that's going to be useful for you to spend all day dividing. And so, as of right now, you only have 2 more problems to do of these, beyond the one that I just did with you. You only have 2 more, unless, of course, you start talking and are go berserko, and then you will have 4 to do. I mean, 3 more to do, a total of 4.
Total.
Okay, next part of the lesson, and this is the last of the lesson.
Just on
It's going to ask a question. You look at the table and read it, and then answer the question with a complete sentence. What do you have to answer with?
sentence.
Complete
3 or
sentence.
4 problems.
So it's a total of 3,
Okay.
not including the
so
blue one.
In the data tables, do we have to write 14 over 26?
Yes, that's part of the answer. See how right here, even on this one, they have the fraction and they have the percent.
So basically, we don't do
20%. So it's
You don't do 2 of them right now. So you get to skip 2 of them.
Oh, since we're counting this one,
Yeah.
finish this one.
Finish this one, and then you only have 2 more to do that you have to do, unless of course you talk a lot, and then you will have more than that. And then you just answer these questions. Like for example, all of them. What percent of male students participate in basketball? So male basketball. So then you could say 24.7%.
Do we have to write it in a percentage?
Yep, of male students participate in basketball, and you have to do all of these.
So it's kind of like when we have to like analyze the slope and
Yeah, even easier, but yeah. I think this is really easy anyway, because you just look at the table, right? That's all you do. And that's the end of the lesson. So the rest of the time is yours to work, and we are going to be doing just some other things. So work, and then when you're done with this assignment, you can work on Alex or Khan Academy.